Do we have audio now? Let's see. Okay, I think we have audio now. Hi, I'm C. Andrew Nelson, founder of Aquatasy. This happens all the time. You know, you'd think I'd have all the kinks not, taken care of, but no. Hi, welcome to Aquatasy. I'm your host, C. Andrew Nelson, actor, visual effects artist, animator, voiceover performer, genuine Dark Lord of the Sith, and absolute fish fanatic. And I'm delighted that you could join us. You know, we need to talk. The reason why we need to talk is because I haven't done a live stream since New Year's Eve, and it's high time that we do one. So that's why we're doing one today. Let's see if we got anybody in the chat now. Yes, we still have people in the chat. And yes, now we have audio. Great, fantastic, wonderful. It's been a minute since we last talked, and it's been a minute since I actually uploaded a new video for you guys. And that's part of why I wanted to have a live stream today, is so that we could actually talk about all the things that have prevented me from making new videos for you. But I'm back to making videos for you now, and I've got one in the works, and we're going to talk about that. How are you? How is everybody today? Please talk to me. Tell me how you're doing. I'm happy that they're here. Delighted that you're joining us. Muppet929 says, it's been a long time. Glad you're back. Yes, I'm glad I'm back as well. A lot of things have been going on in the past couple months since the last video, and certainly a lot has been going on since the beginning of the year when we did the live stream on New Year's Eve. If you missed that, you can go back and watch it. It was actually pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. But I've been working on a lot of projects that have nothing to do with fish, sadly, but they are very cool projects, and I'll be telling you about that. And I've been working on, starting to work on the tanks around here, and rescaping some things and moving things around, and that in and of itself has been quite an adventure. So we will definitely talk about that. So let me see here. By the way, if you want to connect with Aquatasy, there's all the contact information right there. Okay, you can find Aquatasy on Instagram. You can find Aquatasy on Facebook. Actually, that's not even the right one, is it? Let's put the other slide up. There we go. I'm messing everything up today. This is what it's been like. This has been my life the last couple of months here, and why I haven't really been making a lot of content for you. I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off. It's just really insane. But there you go. There's the information. So you can find Aquatasy on Instagram. You can find Aquatasy on Facebook. You can find Aquatasy on Twitter occasionally. I don't do a lot of stuff on Twitter. Or of course you can find stuff, extra stuff for Aquatasy on Patreon. Going to be posting a lot more there, hopefully, soon. Or you can go to the Aquatasy website, which is about to be overhauled. I know I've promised that, but there's been some stuff that has to go on behind the scenes, some kind of, HTML voodoo that has to go on before that can happen, and something that's above my pay grade that I'm bringing somebody else in to work on. But we're going to overhaul the website and make it a lot more interesting for you. So, and of course, if you want to send me any kind of email, you can send it to info@aquatasy.com. There you go. See? So, oh, we got more people. Look at that. Fucky is here. Yay! How you doing? We have Aussie Aquatic. How you doing? How's it going, buddy? That's my friend Colin there. Steven Truthseeker is here. Chad Krotz is here. Good to see you, Chad. Nice to see you. So, what have you been doing? Before I get into what I've been doing, what have you been doing? Are your fish tanks doing well? Those of you who have channels, are they doing well? Definitely, Colin's got a great channel there. Aussie Aquatic, you got to check that out. Go check out it. Used to be under his name, Colin Barsby. Now it's Aussie Aquatic. Definitely check out his channel. But how are all of you? Because honestly, I've missed you. I've missed doing the live streams. I've missed chatting and connecting with you. And unfortunately, I haven't even been in the comments that much lately. I'm a bad YouTuber lately because I just haven't been able to get things done. Colin says that they are in the lockdown again. Oh, I am so sorry. Things are actually starting to open up here in the States. After the big coof, widespread, horrible incident. Not gonna name it by name because who knows if they're still demonetizing things for that. Yeah, another 7 days, he says. Fingers crossed. Yeah, we are here in California are supposed to really relax the rules here on June 15th. I'll believe it when I see it, but they're supposed to loosen the mask mandates and a lot of the other things as far as, they've loosened it a little bit already, and the theme parks are opened up again, and you can go to the movies and that sort of thing. But it's starting to die down. In fact, I've been the conventions that I am often a guest at. I'm very blessed to be a guest at a lot of conventions. Those have started up again, and I'm very, very happy and very thankful for that. To get out there and meet a lot of people. We have Emma is here. Hello, Emma. The coof, yes, it is a term that many a YouTuber uses to describe a certain virus that goes around because when the whole global health crisis started, naming it by name got a lot of people demonetized for some reason, and so we started calling it the coof, or as my friend the Creaky Blinder calls it, the lager lurgy. So. Eric Christensen, my old pal, is here. My gosh, what are you doing here? Watching me be a fool. Good to see you, buddy. Eric is runs a visual effects company and is quite the professional in the visual effects industry. And he and I work together at Industrial Light and Magic. And great guy. Good to see you. So. So there's been big demonstrations against it all here in England. Oh my, yeah. So, yeah, I don't want to talk too much about that because it's like, who wants to talk about it anymore? I'm tired of talking about it. I want to live life and not be, constantly thinking about that all the time. So I'm glad to see that things are starting to come back to normal. So. Some of the things that are going on, I've done, production is starting to open back up again, which is nice. So things are actually shooting again. And I've been cast in a couple of things, and so I'm going back to my acting again, which is nice to be able to do that. For those of you who don't know and think this is just a fish tank channel, I happen to be an actor, visual effects artist, animator, voiceover performer, and genuine Dark Lord of the Sith. So we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so production has started up again, and I got cast in a couple of things, which was nice, but that, of course, takes time away from doing this channel. So I'm kind of sad about that, but you know, it's nice to get out there again. Also working on a really big voiceover project, which is taking up a lot of my time, and we'll be talking about that. Colin says, thank goodness our aquarium hobby can refocus our attentions. Absolutely. You know, one of the reasons why I love this hobby so much and why I have been obsessed with it for a long time is that, you know, when you work, and Eric Christensen can back me up on this, when you work in the entertainment industry, it's a crazy business. At any given moment, it feels like there is a multi-million-dollar production sitting on your shoulders waiting for you to get your part of it done, whether you're working in production or pre-production or post-production, visual effects, whatever. There's a lot of pressure. You know, that's the way it feels. The reality of it is, there really is a multi-million-dollar production sitting on your shoulders waiting for you to get your part of it done. And to deal with that pressure, I stare at fish tanks. I get my sleeves wet. I mess around with my fish, and it relaxes me. It calms me down. And so during this whole lockdown, that has been a big thing too. You know, I've redone tanks and moved things around and focused on that. Not to a great extent, because, you know, with the lockdown came a drop in income. So I'm not out there spending a lot of money, but I did a lot of trades and things like that. For those of you who have fish tanks and fish, one of the great ways to get the things that you want for your hobby, because let's face it, it's not a cheap hobby, especially if you're on the saltwater side of things. It's not an inexpensive hobby at all. But there are ways to keep the costs down, and one of them is bartering and trading and random acts of kindness and that sort of thing. And so I've been doing a lot of that during the lockdown, even though, you know, we're social distancing and things like that. So there's still a lot of stuff going on with Craigslist and some of the local clubs and things. I belong to the San Francisco Bay Area Aquatic Plant Society, or SFBAPS, if you want to pronounce the abbreviation for it. And I was able to get a lot of things by trading with people there. Again, doing it with social distancing, so they put it out and you pick it up, and you know, nobody gets really close to each other. But it's nice, and that. But this hobby, yeah, during the lockdown, definitely spent a lot of time with the fish tanks. There, so let me see what's going on here. Let's see. Somebody asked. Heat Shield says, "Good. All right, good. I didn't miss the handcuffs announcement yet." If you looked at the community tab on the Aquatasy channel, where I post a lot of things here and there, in between videos, I'll post things. I posted a photo of me sitting in a police station, and there was also a pair of handcuffs in front of me. That has to do with a production that I was cast in, and I know I have not announced that yet, what it was that I was working on. I will do that. I have slides for you to look at, images to look at here. So no, you haven't missed that yet. Hasn't happened yet. Steven says, I used to be a wizard, but that's another story. Okay. 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 Emma's giving a tip there on how to keep the cost of this hobby down. One of them is going to Pet Supplies Plus. Pet Supplies Plus. And I'm a voiceover announcer too. And I Pet Supplies Plus during the $1 a gallon sale. Yes, Petco also does a $1 per gallon sale. In fact, I think they're getting ready to do it again. I was at Petco today. I had to drop my car off at the mechanics to have some new tires put on, and I had time to kill, so I wandered over to the Petco that was nearby, which is actually a really nice Petco. Not all chain pet stores are created equal, but that one is actually pretty nice, and they have some healthy fish there, and also decent prices on things. But I think they're getting ready for a $1 per gallon sale, because I saw a whole bunch of aquariums, a lot of 40-gallon breeders that were stacked up right when you get into the lobby, and that's always a sign that there's the sale coming up. But yeah, that's definitely one way of doing it. Another way of doing it, and this is what you should do when you go to like the big box chain pet stores, like Petco or PetSmart or any of the other ones, whatever price you see in the store, look on their website. Look on their app, look on their website, and see if it's less. Because a lot of times it is, especially at Petco. And then they will match their own store price if you ask them to. They won't do it automatically, but you have to ask them. Sometimes you actually have to show the employee. I will pull it up on my phone and I will show it to them and say, look, see, this is your price, your company's price. That's the price I want to pay. I don't want to pay your store price. So, but that's one way of doing it as well. So, Heat Shield says, are you saying salary helps with keeping salt water? I know. Don't want my day job. I'm no comedian. Yes, right. It can help. I mean, an income does help with unless you married rich. That's a real good way. An income, a nice job keeps you fully stocked in your fish tank. Definitely. Steven says, only ever went to a fish club once, and a famous Cory cat breeder did a talk. Wow. I'm assuming it was the breeder that was famous and not the Cory cat that he bred that was famous. But that's very, very cool. That's nice. I know that there's a fish club up in Sacramento, California here that gets a lot of really good speakers there, and that's very, very cool. Let's see here. Colin says, should be sales elsewhere, everywhere at the moment. Yeah, you would think so. You would think that there'd be a lot of sales because they want to entice people to spend, because there have been a lot of people who have not been able to spend for various reasons, but now that the economy is starting to open up again, you would think that they would have sales in order to entice people. That's the weird thing, is some places you go and they've jacked up the prices because they're trying to make up for the loss of income, during the lockdown. And I think that's the wrong way to do it. Call me crazy, but I think it would be better if you lower the prices because you'll sell more than if you don't think you're going to recoup your losses on just one big sale of some really huge acrylic tank or something like that. So why does the store have two different prices? There's the $64,000 question right there. I don't know because they count on people being ignorant of it. Well, the thing is, when you do stuff online, when you're selling online, it's less overhead because you're not paying store employees. You're not paying, the rental of the store space because the stores don't own usually the building that they're in. They're renting it from whatever mall that they're in or that sort of thing. And so there's a lot of overhead when they have a physical brick and mortar store. When that business also has warehouses somewhere, that's a lower cost of doing business. And so they can have their prices lower. Also because online, we have been kind of conditioned by a certain company, Amazon, to expect lower prices online. So with companies like Amazon and Chewy.com and things like that, we expect lower prices. So to compete with that, you've got companies like Petco and PetSmart that will drop their prices lower. So most of these stores, though, do have the policy where they will match a competitor's price or even their own price, because sometimes their online store is their own competition. Another way that you can we've gone off on an interesting tangent here on saving money. I like this. But one of the ways that you can save money, another way with some of the brick and mortar stores, like Petco and PetSmart in particular does this, is if you order online and pay online and then pick it up in the store, you can usually get a nice savings on that. When we bought my son his 36-gallon Beaufront, the nice big Aquaon tank that he has, and you can go back and you can see that video. It's called "Someone Gets a New Aquarium" here on the Aquatasy channel. When we bought that for him, we bought it online and we saved a ton of money. We saved almost like a third of what the price was for the 36-gallon Beaufront tank and the stand together. It was a combo. And now we did have to drive all the way from the East Bay and the San Francisco Bay Area up to Sacramento, a nice long hour drive in order to get it, because that was the only place that had one. But we did save money, even if you counted in the gas and the mileage and all that stuff like that. It was still a great big savings there. So Cats can't talk. I beg to differ with you. If you've watched this channel, you'll see that my fish, they're mercifully being quiet at the moment because they're angry at me. And I'll tell you why they're angry at me later. Yeah, cats will talk, and mine's sort of a conspiracy theorist. So I wish he would stay quiet. But yeah, cats can talk. And regular feline cats can talk too. The cat is over there. She's asleep at the moment. Little Miss Murder Mittens over there in the corner. But she's a mouser. She's Little Miss Murder Mittens. But she will very definitely be vocal on things. I don't know if she'd give a lecture, but neither will my fish. But they give me a lecturing at times. So price gouging should be a criminal act when dealing with animal care. I agree. Raise prices, then claim that it's safe and reduce prices to normal for a week. Nah. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. S. Pasternak is here. Hello there. How are you? And Cory Cat Expert is so famous, I can't remember his name. He's so famous, he doesn't even need a name. It's like, oh, that's the Cory Cat Expert right there. Let's see here. One of the stores I visited recently, the in-store price for a nano tank was lower than online. Now that's interesting. That may be that they were trying to do like a closeout on that and trying to get rid of the last few that they had. Who knows? Colin says, Australia has some of the highest prices globally, and Amazon just slipped in with the same prices and enjoys the easy profits. That's sad. I am so sorry for you, Colin. I am so very, very sorry. You would think that Amazon would come in and undercut everybody and make a mint, but I guess they decided to just go with the flow and make that money that way. Boy, they got you. I'm sorry. Can you get anything in from New Zealand? Is that cheaper? Or no, probably not. Says my 24-year-old cat says hello and I love you. Aw, that's nice. Yes. The cat here will when she's hungry, she'll come in and go. She will just lecture us and just say, "I haven't been fed in 1,000 years," So, Dr. Black 66 is here. G'day, you mob. Yeah, g'day to you. Let's see. Can we see your kitty before the end of the stream? Probably. She will probably come over here. If not, I will get up and pick her up and move her over here at the risk of my life, because she does not like to be held. And she's not our kitty, actually, by the way. We are her humans. We have to get that right. We did not purchase her. We did not adopt her. She adopted us. She's a neighborhood cat, and she didn't like conditions elsewhere where she was living. There was a angry little chihuahua that she didn't get along with, and she just kind of slowly moved over here, and now she's taken up residence here in the fabulous Aquatasy studios, aka the former garage, aka my home office. And so there's a cat tree over there, and a cat carrier, and toys, and all kinds of things. And we've covered the furniture with blankets so that she can't scratch it up. And she's got another cat bed in the window and another cat bed over here. So yeah, she's got us wrapped around her little paw. But she's delightful. She's our therapy cat. She's really, when we've had a stressful day, she's just a little sweetheart and sits on our lap and everything. So yeah, so I'll bring her on camera if I can. So yeah, Dr. Black agreeing there that the tanks are expensive down under there. Again, I am so sorry. So, would it be any cheaper? This is an interesting question for you guys that are down in Australia. Would it be any cheaper if you bought glass and silicon sealer and made your own tanks, or you bought acrylic and made your own tanks? Curious to know. So, well, the dog knows. Heat Shield says, well, the dog knows how to say, I haven't been fed in 1,000 years. Yeah. Dogs have no sense of time. They really don't. I mean, you can leave and then come back, and they act like you've been gone, for days. And they just got all excited and everything. I mean, you can do that repeatedly over and over again. Just walk out the door, leave, stay outside for like 5 minutes, come back in, and they're acting like they've been starving. So. Um, Some cat videos could really use a boost in views. Yes. So all right. So let's talk about some of the things that I've been working on. Some of the things I've been doing that have been keeping me busy here. Well, one of the things that I was able to do, which is very, very cool, is that I was asked to be a guest on the Creature Features show. For those of you who don't live in the United States, and for those who don't get the show syndicated to you there, Creature Features is a show that started here in the Bay Area on a Sacramento station and a Oakland station back in the 70s, hosted by a guy named Bob Wilkins. And he would run horror movies on Saturday nights, and he would host it. And unlike a lot of the hosts that you get on some of these shows that are playing this, some kind of creepy character, whoa, welcome to the movie tonight, that kind of. He didn't do that. He'd have the big build up and all the scary stuff, but he was this little guy with big thick glasses, smoking a giant cigar and sitting in a rocking chair and saying to you, well, we got a real lousy movie for you tonight. You probably shouldn't watch this. In fact, here, let me get the TV guide and see what you could be watching instead. Oh yeah, you should watch this instead, but don't watch the movie we have. And of course, as a teenager, we look at that and we go, oh yeah, we're going to stick around and watch this movie. So yeah, so he ran a bunch of bad movies, but he ran a bunch of really good movies too. A lot of great Ray Harryhausen movies and old Hammer horror movies and things like that. And that was a big influence on me growing up, and one of the reasons why I wanted to get into films and filmmaking and visual effects and animation and all of that. And Bob was a big, encourager of young filmmakers. He then passed on the show to John Stanley, who hosted the show for many years. John Stanley was a writer for the San Francisco Examiner newspaper and a film historian, still is a film historian. And then the latest version of the show that's been running for several years very successfully is hosted by the wonderful Vincent van Dahl, who is, in fact, here we go. There's Vincent, the retired British rock star who has inherited this creepy mansion and hosts horror movies with the help of the wonderful, his Man Friday, his major domo, Mr. Livingston, and the strange, creepy, and silent Tangela. So it's a great show. I was a guest on it once before, and they had me come back and be a guest again, and it was delightful. But that's one of the things that I've been doing in my absence here from Aquatasy. So we just had a blast, and I will actually put a link in the description below after we've done this live stream of where you can actually watch the episode that I was just in. It features a very strange, interesting science fiction film from the 70s, Russian science fiction film. So that's one thing that I was busy doing. I also traveled. I was traveling down to the Dallas area to do a signing. I often do signings, autograph signings and things like that because of my connection with the Star Wars franchise. I get invited to do those things, and it's a delight. And I do it also to help raise money for the Starlight Children's Foundation. So that was wonderful. So I went down to Order 66 Toys. Went down there with my good buddy Alan Fernandez. Alan Fernandez there. Alan was one of the original Tusken Raiders from the very first Star Wars film from 1977. In fact, there you can see him in the film there, riding on top of the Bantha. So when you see the guys on top of the Bantha, that was him there. He was one of the trainers of that elephant that played that character. So that is an elephant under there. I don't want to blow the illusion for you, but yeah, that was an elephant, a trained elephant named Margie, and Alan was one of her trainers. And so he and I went down to Order 66 Toys down in McKinney, Texas, near Dallas. And there we are. Also, Eric Walker, actor Eric Walker, who's been in tons of different TV shows and movies and things, but you probably know him best if you're a Star Wars fan, because he played Mace Tuani, the original Mace, from the two Ewok TV movies from way back, the Caravan of Courage and Battle for Endor, and so the three of us were down at Order 66 Toys, signing autographs during their live stream. In fact, I'm probably going against their live stream right now, which is probably going on right now on Facebook. But it's very, 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 very cool, and it was fun to be down there. And then we did a signing at their sister store, which is Order 66 Special Edition, which is the largest Star Wars toy and collectible store in the world, probably. And they had some amazing things there on display. But there's the three of us signing there, and so that's one thing that kept me from making videos here on this channel. But then, as I said, I got cast in a production. The shooting here in the Bay Area. It is a pilot, a TV movie that's going to be a pilot for reviving a series, a cop drama. So this is where we were shooting. That's the location was actually inside one of the piers there. That is Pier 9, which is actually home to Autodesk. It's one of the offices for Autodesk. If you've ever used any of Autodesk's software, this is one of their locations, and that's the front of the lobby for it inside the pier, and it was being used as the new high-tech police station. So obviously that other signage up there is for something else. But there I am out there in front. You can see some of the grip equipment back there behind me. And there's the lobby that was used as the lobby of the police station. Upstairs is what was being used as the police station. So this is where we had to wait until it was time for us to shoot. And then there's upstairs where everything was going on. So this is supposed to be the high-tech police station of the future, that kind of or the present, that kind of goes against the grain for what's happening with the old cops that are coming back to the new police station and trying to meld their old ways with the new ways in this. So then there I am on set. I was a suspect that was arrested, suspected of a crime, and there are the handcuffs that I had to wear. The photo was taken in between takes, so that's why you're not seeing the handcuffs on me there. But so, what was the show that I was doing? Anybody want to guess? It's an old cop show from like the 80s, 90s that was that's being brought back. Something that took place in San Francisco. Anybody want to guess? Crickets. Okay, so far nothing. Come on, who has a guess? Hill Street Blues. No, Hill Street Blues did not take place in San Francisco. Great show though. I wish they would bring that back. Not Hill Street Blues. Who has another guess? Dragnet. No, Dragnet was Los Angeles. That was very famous for being filmed in Los Angeles and taking place in Los Angeles. Emma says, no clue, I'm only 21. Oh, God bless you. Okay, so Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon was a film series, not a... Well, I guess I did do a television series about it, too, which didn't last very long at all. So, people are saying, no idea. Okay. Well... Here, I'll tell you. Nash Bridges. Nash Bridges they're trying to bring back Nash Bridges. It's going to be on USA Network, and it's going to. They're doing a 2-hour pilot that is a backdoor for a revived series. We'll see if that happens. I hope it does, because it will bring a lot of production back to San Francisco. One of the nice things about Nash Bridges is that it always shot in San Francisco, not just a few location things and then everything else done elsewhere. They did all their studio stuff in San Francisco. They did the whole production in San Francisco, and they plan to do that again. So, but anyway, there's Don Johnson and Cheech Marin on set. Don and Cheech, yep, they're still there. So that's very cool. There's Don again. And so, yeah, so we'll see what happens. If I make the final edit or not, because it's never guaranteed that you're going to make the final edit when unless you're a principal. Even when you're a principal performer, you don't know if you're going to make the final edit. But I am in a scene with Don and Cheech, and I'm playing a suspect who's being processed there by one of the police officers, and another officer comes in and kicks me because I've got my feet up on a computer and a box with a computer in it, and they get upset that I've got my feet up there, and so they come in and kick me. We had to do that take, I don't know how many takes we did on that, and each time, the detective comes in and kicks me, and I was so sore afterwards. So sore. No bruise, thankfully, but it was so sore. My wife actually said I should check with, I've got a friend who's a stunt coordinator here in the Bay Area. So she said, you should check with him and see if that qualifies for stunt work. You can get a bump in pay or something. It's like, you should get hazard pay for this. And it's like, well, unfortunately, it doesn't count for that. But we'll see. We'll see if I make the final cut there. They may trim it down. It happens. A lot of times you can shoot things and you think, oh yeah, I'm right on camera. There's no way they're going to edit me out. I was doing a pilot. My wife and I both shot a pilot years ago, back in the late '80s, early '90s, it was a TV movie called Bay City Story, and it finally aired under a different name, but it was supposed to be a pilot, a series, a police detective in San Francisco. It was created by one of the directors of the old Columbo TV series. And yeah, no one gets away with kicking Lord Vader. Well, this police detective did, over and over again. Actually, the director did too, because the director came up to show the other actor how to do it. Here, kick him like this. So I was kicked by two people on set. But there was a show. It was a pilot called Bay City Story. It was created by Robert Butler, who was a wonderful director in Hollywood for many years and directed a lot of television shows, a lot of episodes of Columbo and things like that. And he created the show about a detective in San Francisco, and it was going to star Esai Morales. And so I was brought in to work on that, and I'm like a featured extra. I didn't have any dialogue or anything, but it was at a scene where this big fundraiser for some senator or something like that who's running for re-election, and he's being investigated, and so Esai Morales shows up to have a little chat with him as part of his investigation. And so we're all in tuxedos and things like that, and I'm thinking, I am standing right next to Esai Morales. There's no way I'm getting cut out of this. They'd have to fire him before they could cut me out of this. And then Esai Morales got fired off the project. I'm not kidding. And for whatever reason, he didn't get along with the creator of the show, and they parted ways. And so then they had to kind of retool the show, and they changed it around, and then it became about an investigative reporter for the local ABC station, because the show was being produced by ABC. And so a lot of it was now taking place at the TV station, the local ABC affiliate. And so my wife actually ended up in it as his background, somebody in the television station there, and I was completely cut out. So yeah, so it's never guaranteed. You never know. You never know exactly, and even using the force won't help. So he understands the power of the dark side. Yes. Again, for anybody who doesn't know, who is not familiar with me or this channel, and is seeing this for the first time and wondering why they're making references to Darth Vader, it's I spent 12 years playing Darth Vader for Lucasfilm, so that's why. So that's the whole reason why I was signing photos. You saw that. Anyway, so Ruben's here. Ruben was saying he was thinking of Barney Miller. No, I think that was supposed to take place. Wasn't that supposed to take place in New York? I'm not sure. I know it was shot in L.A., but I think it was supposed to take place in New York. But anyway, yeah, no. So look for sometime later this year. Look for Nash Bridges to come back as a TV movie on USA Network, and look for me getting kicked and see what happens. So, So what else has been going on? Well, there is one other project that I've been working on that has been taking up a fair amount of my time, and for good reason. It's a good project. Don, why did you let them kick me? Why, Don? Why? And that is Heroes of Extinction. Heroes of Extinction is an audio drama that I have been co-producing with the creator of the show, Jerry Cornell, and I've also been directing the actors for it, the voice actors, and serving as the narrator for this audio drama. It's a superhero audio drama, which basically the tagline is, when our greatest heroes have all been wiped out, who will step up to take their place? And there is a big crisis going on where, one by one, the heroes and the supervillains are being eliminated, and there's a rise of mutants that are attacking, and we don't know who's behind it. The main character, the superhero that's the featured main character of this story, is trying to figure out where are these mutants coming from, who is plotting to take out all the superheroes and the supervillains. He's also mourning the death of his girlfriend, because she was killed by one of these mutants, but she was a scientist, and maybe her experiments were involved in all of this. Plus, the alien technology that gives him the powers that he has, the superhero powers that he has, is something that is not working so much anymore because he's turning 50, and because his body is aging, he's not connecting with that. And so in the midst of all of this, he's being told by the alien collective that he hears inside his head that he needs to find his successor. He needs to train somebody. So it's an interesting 7-episode, for the first season, 7-episode audio drama. We've got a wonderful cast, fantastic writer. Samantha Albin is the writer, fantastic cast. So that has been taking up a lot of my time doing that. But it's a very cool project. I will let you know more about it as we get closer to it being released. But you can always go to sandranelson.com and go to the news page there, and I'll post some information about it as well there, and links to Heroes of Extinction. We've got 2 episodes already finished in the can and done. We've just added some wonderful new cast members. Michael Gray, who, if you remember the old Shazam TV series, he played Billy Batson on there. He's joined our cast. We've got Isaac Singleton Jr., who is the current voice of Thanos for all the Disney and Marvel animation and games. He's in the cast as one of the main characters. Peter Alden is the voice of our main character, True Strike, and it's just a fantastic cast. But you can also go to heroesofextinction.com. That site will be up and running shortly, and or you can go to Theme Parkology, which is Jerry Cornell's company, and find out all about that. From there, there'll be links to it, and it's going to be a really cool project. It just keeps getting better and better, and the story is amazing because it's like it just, you peel back the layers of the onion to find out that there's more and more that you didn't know about it, and it's very cool. So Heroes of Extinction. So those are the things that are stopping me from making videos for you. But now I've got a little breather, so I can make videos for you again. And I'm actually working on one. I'm bringing back the Aquatasy Countdown series. And so we did 10 terrible community aquarium fish. We did 9 fish species mistakenly sold as tropical. So we've got the next one, which is going to be, we're even counting down the countdown. So the next one is going to be 8 something. So we'll find that out. Inceptional wants to know, where can we get a hold of this? You're talking about Heroes of Extinction. You will be able to, it will be made available through things like Spotify and the Apple iTunes Store, and you'll be able to get it directly from the heroesofextinction.com website when it's ready. So we're hoping to have it done probably by the end of summer, or early fall first. But we're going to be releasing it there. And I think they'll be able to get a little preview of it. Actually, I can play a preview, sort of we did a teaser trailer, although it is an audio drama. I did do a little teaser for you here, so let's run that real quick. So there you go. There's your little teaser for you. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So definitely check that out. So it's okay. Enough of that. Enough of all the stuff that I've been doing apart from fish tanks. Let's talk about fish tanks. Finally, I don't know how your fish tanks are doing, but mine are in kind of a little bit of an upheaval here because we had some issues happen with one of the tanks. Somebody asked what's my thought on Bad Batch. I actually have not seen it yet. I do have Disney Plus, but I have not had a chance to sit down and watch it. I haven't had a chance to watch much of anything, really, because I've just been so busy. I haven't been able to consume content or make content because I'm off doing other kinds of content. But I am going to check it out because it looks interesting. It looks interesting. So let's see. Regarding the tanks, because a lot of people ask me, what's the status of like the Thailand project, which you can see over there, completely overgrown. And some people want to know what's the status of the little tank. Slight pause whilst I adjust things. But the little tank behind me here. In fact, let's go to tank cam. There we go. Tank cam nothing is working for me today. What is that? Why is that? Okay, anyway, never mind. Tank cam's not working. But of course it was working before I started the live stream. But anyway. So the little tank behind me is doing great. That's I'll get out of the way. So there you can see it a little bit better. So that's my Columbian Creek. That's going on there, and that's actually doing really, really nicely. It's got some new inhabitants in there. I got some neon tetras, but they're the sort of the albino neon tetras that they've been the golden neons they call them. My local fish store had like 3 left, and I thought, I'll go ahead and take those off their hands. And they were so thankful. So, shout out to Albany Aquarium who got those for me and gave those to me. And that was just wonderful. So they're in there. I've got a skunk cory in there as well. And everybody's doing great. And as you can see, the plants have just gone crazy. I've got dwarf hair grass that is no longer dwarf and has run really well. I actually keep the lights running 24/7 because I'm a madman. Also because I've got a bazillion nerite snails in there that keep the glass and algae everything off of everything. So the rocks don't have much algae. The wood doesn't have hardly any algae. A little bit of algae on a few of the leaves of the plants in there. But other than that, it's doing great. It's doing fantastic. So that's doing well. But so that's doing great. But this is one of those situations where it's like I need to do one thing with one tank before I can do something with another tank, and then something with another tank, and something with another tank. It's like this sort of domino thing. I've got to take care of the first one before I can move on to the next one. And the problem for me right now is that we took in a rescue fish. Not that the fish itself needed to be rescued, but the person who had the fish needed to be rescued from the fish. So we took in this guy. This is Ramon Garcia Batista, or RGB, nicknamed Big Mac by my son. He is a marbled angelfish and a big beast. He's huge. He is almost as big as my hand. I mean, literally almost as big as my hand. Big, handsome, healthy, strong fish, and a little feisty, which is why the person who gave them to me was really happy to get rid of him, because he was terrorizing some fish that they had. I figured, okay, well, he's not going to bother the fish. I've got much bigger fish than they had, so they were keeping really tiny little fish. It was somebody from one of the local clubs here. And so I picked him up and thought, wow, he's beautiful, fantastic. And so I put him in the 10-gallon tank, the holding tank down here with my sassy back-talking fish, and they shut up because they were scared. Actually, I thought he killed them. I thought he ate them because I couldn't find them. They were gone. I mean, like, occasionally I'd see one. I'd see my clown Pleco Jr. He would show up once in a while, but even he disappeared for most of the time. I thought Big Mac ate everybody until I redid the 20-gallon tank. I did finally rescape the 20-gallon tank, and I moved Big Mac into the 20-gallon tank. That's the picture you see, the image you see here. He's in the 20-gallon tank there. And after I did that, suddenly all my fish reappeared and were very vocal about the situation. So yeah, he had just scared them so much that they all went hiding, cowering behind the plants that were in there, and just didn't come out until he wasn't looking, and to get a little bit of food. So but he's just a handsome, beautiful beast. It was a real task trying to move him from this 10-gallon tank into the 20-gallon tank, and even with the big net that I had, because he's so strong. I mean, he literally was just a force to be reckoned with. But he's even too big for this 20-gallon tank, I think. So I got to move him again. There's the reason why I can't move him yet, is because I'm going to move him to my son's 36-gallon bowfront tank. Now, some of you who watch the channel may be thinking, but Andrew, you can't do that because he's got goldfish in there. You can't put him in with goldfish. Well, goldfish are no more because we ended up with an ick infestation. We added one more goldfish to the tank and thought it was quarantined, thought everything was fine, and got in there. And my son was only down to like one goldfish anyway, because the others had died off from old age. Basically, he'd had them for a long time, and he had one last fish that was kind of old and had always been a kind of a sickly fish. Anyway, never grew very big and had problems. But so we ended up with ick in there. It happens sometimes. Even when you think the fish that we added, it was put through quarantine. It didn't show any signs of illness or anything like that. Put it in there, and suddenly the other fish that he already had got sick. And so I treated it, started following my own methods from my video, that icky feeling, the sort of the more natural methods. They weren't working. Ended up using the Ick X, which is a great product. It does work, but unfortunately the fish were too far gone at that point. Even the one that didn't show any outward signs seemed to be fine, and then all of a sudden, boom, dropped dead. So so that tank, we are going to break that whole tank down. I mean, there hasn't been any fish in it for a while, and I know that ick probably just die off, but we're just going to start over fresh. So going to take that tank down and do a little rescape on it too. I'm getting rid of the old gravel. It's literally just plain gravel, and going to put in something else. And we're going to make it no longer a cold water tank. It's going to be a heated tank, and it's going to be themed around the country of Peru, because you know that I'm all about theming tanks. This is the Colombian tank. The 20-gallon tank that you know about is the Brazilian tank. This is the Thailand tank. So we're going to do one based on the country of Peru, because that type of angelfish that we're going to put in there, Big Mac, he's native to the country of Peru. So we're going to theme it around that, and we'll put in some other fish that will be able to stand up to him. Maybe some bleeding heart tetras and some cory cats and stuff like that. But mainly we're going to focus right on Big Mac, and that'll be a big, nice tank for him, 36-gallon. But I've got some new substrate I'm going to try. In fact, hold on a moment. Talk amongst yourselves for a second. Action sequence. Okay. So I'm going to try, what have I got here? Active Flora. I don't know if you guys have ever used Active Flora before. I've never used it. Oh, you can't even see that. Active Flora. It is a gravel, but it's got a lot of nutrients infused into it there, so it's supposed to actually be really good for growing plants. So I'm going to give it a try and see, because it'll get sort of the same look that my son is used to in that tank. And and then I'm also going to fill in the foreground with ADA Aquatasy Amano cosmetic sand, the La Plata sand, and it'll be a nice look in there. But I'm not going to rely strictly on the Aquaflora substrate to feed the plants. I'm going to put some root tabs in there as well. So we're going to put probably some Amazon swords and things like that in there. Anything that's native to Peru that doesn't need a whole lot of light and doesn't need CO2 or things like that. So yeah, so I have to do that rescape first. Going to break that tank down, then set it back up again. Then move Big Mac after it's all cycled. Then do a little maintenance on the 20-gallon tank, because somehow I managed to get some very strange algae in there. I've never dealt with this type of algae. It's very coarse. It's almost like steel wool. It's just really strange. See if I can get that out of there and change the parameters and do whatever to get that out of there. Then move my fish. They'll be so happy to get out. I'll be happy to get them out of here so they're not yelling at me all the time. Put them back in there, and then take my quarantine tank, my holding tank, otherwise known as Ellis Island, redo that a little bit, and then I can start working on the Thailand tank again, finally, the Thailand project. So it's like one thing has to happen first, then the next, and then the next, and then the next. So let's get caught up on the chat here, because I'm sorry, I'm talking and talking and talking and not saying anything. Jerry is here. I was just talking about you, Jerry. Jerry Cornell, the producer and creator of Heroes of Extinction, right there. So good to see you, Jerry. Let's see. All right, Heat Shield says, if you don't mind my asking, changing the topic back for just a sec, how is it determined you are now allowed to talk about your participation in Nash Bridges? Was it your decision or contractual? It's because they've announced it now. It's been talked about in the press. So that's why. That's why. And so, it's okay to talk about it now. At the time that I was shooting, no. Like a month ago when I was shooting, no, couldn't talk about it. Now, it's okay. So, let's see. So Emma says, he's so pretty. Yeah, he is gorgeous. He is an absolutely gorgeous, and he is a smart fish. He knows the difference between everybody in this family. And if my wife walks past, he'll look at her, but he knows, all right, you're not the one that feeds me. Same thing with my daughter. My son and I walk past. He keeps an eye on my son because he knows sometimes my son feeds him. But me, he knows right away, and it's like, so where's the food? Where's the food, dude? So yeah, and he comes very close to leaping out of the water for the foods. He loves these particular tetra in a little circle flakes, and that's what I give him. I mean, I give him other stuff too. I give him bloodworms and tubifex worms and things like that. But he loves those flakes. My gosh. So let's see here. Inceptional says, I saw a video the other day of a sickly goldfish who was all black and after being nursed back to health and in a happier environment, change colors completely to a gorgeous bright orange. Yes, that does happen. Some of it is also genetic. There are some fish, because we had this happen with one of my son's OG goldfish from years ago. Started off as a black moor and changed into an orange one just as it aged. Because sometimes, I mean, goldfish will change color over time, especially if the breeding stock isn't really, you know, like purebred, you know, good breeding stock. They will change color over time. Sometimes if you've got like a calico goldfish, it kind of loses some of the colors. Black is one of the colors that seems to fade out very quickly on some of these fish as they age. But also it can be a health issue too, where, you know, when the fish gets healthier, it loses some of that darker coloration because the darker coloration wasn't a true pigment. It was just a sign of it being ill. So yeah, that does happen. Let's see. Alan is here. Alan Fernandez. All right. Vader and the Raider back together again. Good to see you, buddy. I was actually just talking about you. I was showing a picture of us down in Texas. That was very cool. So glad to have you here. Yes. Alan and I are actually going to be doing quite a few conventions coming up. So if you go to, you can follow either of us on Facebook, and you'll find out information about where we're going to be. And or you can go to my website, candrewNelson.com, and go to the events page, and you'll see all the different events, the conventions, and, you know, signings and lectures and whatever that he and I might be doing. So there you go. Who has a clear favorite person? Somebody said, Bucky has just asked, said he has a clear favorite person. I'm not playing favorites. I love you all. I love all my viewers. So, but so that's what's going on with the tanks as far as I dropped my pen. That's what's going on with the tanks, and so again, it's like I got to do one thing first, then I can do something else, then I can do something else, then I can do something else. Now, one of the big problems for me having a YouTube channel is about this hobby that I love so much is I always feel like whatever I do with the tanks, I got to do it on camera so I can share it with you guys. And then there's always the problem of, well, you know, having the time to set up the cameras and do everything, and make the video of it, and then stuff doesn't get done. But that, you know, I'm gonna get this stuff done anyway, and I'll you know, shoot as much of it as I possibly can so I can share it with you and show you some of the things that I'm doing, and just give you some tips and tricks on how to rescape and how to deal with this and that and the other. So. Oh, I see. Bucky was saying that the fish that follows me has a favorite. Absolutely. And it has nothing to do with him liking me. It has everything to do with the fact that I am the hand that feeds him. So, and he has bitten me too. He has bitten the hand that feeds him. So, anybody who thinks that angelfish are beautiful, sweet, peaceful, sedate creatures, some of them are, but some of them aren't. Remember, they are cichlids. Some cichlids can get a little feisty, and that one definitely does. And he did get a little overzealous one time trying to get the food out of my hand as I'm sprinkling it into the top of the tank, and he reached up out of the water and bit me. So he was going for the food, wasn't going for me. But food guys here, everyone act busy, yes. So so that's what's going on. That's what's going on with the tanks, and with all my extracurricular activity. Emma says, my angel Xenius, is that how you pronounce it? Tried to eat my neon tetras when he was too small to fit them in his mouth. Yeah, you know, one of the things that you can do because some people say, well, yeah, can you keep what can you keep with angelfish? It depends on the tank, on the size of the tank, the setup of the tank, the size of the fish, the age of the fish, a lot of different factors. If you want to keep angelfish with smaller fish like neon tetras or small danios or things like that, rasboras, one way to do it is to get the angelfish at a very small size when they're just a young fry, maybe no bigger than a quarter, and a small coin. If you get one that's here, got a little flash pin right there, but if you get them about the size of a little little thing about that big, you can get your angelfish that big, or just maybe just a little bit larger. Then that's a good age, because then they grow up among all the other fish, and they don't look at them right away as food. So that's one way of doing it. You can getting them in there. Sometimes angelfish do actually like to see other fish schooling around. So if you get a big school of other fish, like zebra danios or something like that, or let's see, what would be another good one? Or pearl danios, harlequin rasboras, something like that. And you get a nice school of them that will swim together. They act as ditherfish, so that the angelfish know there's no threats, there's no danger, because if those fish aren't hiding, then I don't have to worry about anything. So that's one way of doing it. Also, keeping more than one angelfish can help sometimes, unless they become a breeding pair and they're concerned about other fish getting near their eggs. But usually they don't have to worry about tetras or something like that going near their eggs. So if you have other fish, let's say if you get maybe a group of angelfish, of 5 or 6 of them, they will kind of pay more attention to each other and leave the smaller fish alone. In most cases, that's one way of doing it. Or you can have if you have just a really big tank, if you've got 55 gallons, 75 gallon or larger tank, then there's plenty of room for your big fish, like your angelfish or your discus or something like that, and then your smaller fish, your school of smaller fish, and there's a place for them to retreat, and everybody has their own territory to worry. You don't have to worry about it then. So let's see. Yes, Emma says harlequin rasboras are a great choice for angels. Yes, harlequin rasboras are just a great choice. They're fantastic fish, very hardy, beautiful, attractive. They school together so nicely, easy to care for, and not expensive. And they're just great fish. Just really nice. I always like them because they always look like they're all wearing leotards. So, let's see. Chad says I keep phantom tetras. Big-bodied tetra look cool. Yeah, phantom tetras are great. I love black phantom tetras. Are one of my favorites. I when people are talking about, well, should I get black skirts or should I get black phantom tetras? I always say get the phantom tetras instead. Black skirts can get kind of ornery. They can get a little feisty. Also, a lot of people don't realize it, but black skirts are more of a cool water fish rather than a warm water fish. They do much better at lower temperatures, like lower 70s, higher 60s instead. Whereas the black phantoms, very definitely warm water fish. And they're a school of black phantoms is just nice, really nice. You put that together with something that gives you a little bit of contrast, color-wise, but the nice round body, full bodies of the black phantom tetras, plus their coloration with the black fins and the sort of silvery body, really, really pretty. And then you put that together with, say, some neon tetras or some cardinal tetras that gives you some contrast. Or maybe, actually, I would put it together like a school of black phantom tetras and maybe some lemon tetras, a school of lemon tetras. It's a nice little contrast there. Not a contrast in body shape, but a nice contrast in coloration. So Inceptional says, what's a dream-sized tank for you, and what would you have in it if budget was no option? Wow. When I was a kid, I used to think that I wanted to get a 100-gallon tank, because that was the biggest I could imagine at that time. 100-gallon tank, and I would get like the biggest tank I could find, a 100-gallon tank, and fill it with the smallest fish I could find. Just hundreds of guppies or something like that. That was what I always wanted when I was a kid. Nowadays, I think if money was no option, I'd love to have like a nice big 220, 240 or something like that. Just a big, beautiful, big glass tank. I'm not fond of acrylic tanks. There's something about the look of them that I don't like. I like the look of glass tanks. Nice big tank, and I would probably, I would scape it. It would be certainly be a planted tank, and I would. That's an interesting thing. What would I fill it with? I would probably do a. I would probably do some kind of South American setting or Central American setting, and or I might do it all in an Indonesian tank. That would be interesting. There's a lot of good, really nice fish from Indonesia, or Central Africa would be cool too. Like West African tank would be nice. There's too many possibilities. But I think I would probably do some kind of South American tank because I've always wanted to have like a black ghost knife fish. Such a cool fish. Such a cool fish. Really smart, really interesting. So I put that in there with some other, maybe some big cichlids that would go with it, and some bottom dwellers and some plecos. I would definitely have a royal pleco. In a tank that big, I would have a royal pleco. Because I love, that's my bucket list fish. I've always wanted a royal pleco. Just fantastic, beautiful ugly fish. So, okay. So evil lair tank. Sharks with laser beams on their foreheads. Yeah, yes. Okay. Another question here, or another comment. Recently got a little school of 11 glow light tetras. Love glow light tetras. Those are fun. Wonderful, fun little fish. They don't hang out with each other as much as I thought they would. Yeah, they don't school as nicely as, let's say, like rummy nose tetras. Rummies are great at schooling. And they don't school even as well as neon tetras go. But they are nice fish. The glow light tetras are just really pretty little fish. But yeah, they don't school quite as well as I had hoped they would either. I've had them over the years, and they it's weird because they're not necessarily a shoaling fish, and they're not necessarily a schooling fish. They're somewhere in the middle. They're like a shoaling fish. I don't know. Is there a Sharknado movie like that? Yes, I'm sure there is, with lasers. Yeah, I think there is. One of the Sharknado movies has lasers and stuff. I would love to be in a Sharknado movie. I honestly would. Yeah, some people want to, say, "Oh, I want to get that Oscar-winning performance." To heck with that. I want to be in a Sharknado movie. That would be awesome. Yeah, hey, if I could win an Oscar, fine, I'll win an Oscar. But I would love to be in a Sharknado movie. That's just too much fun. So, all right. So what's your dream tank? I'm going to ask all of you here in the chat. What's your dream tank? If you can have any kind of tank, money no object, what would you put in it? Where would you? Now, of course, you say to me, ask me, money is no object. There is one other object, and that's my wife. I have to make sure that she's okay with it. So I don't set up any new tanks without asking her. So it's happy wife, happy life. You got to do that. So. He still says, I want to be in the remake of Flight of the Navigator. Yeah, I heard they're remaking that. That comes under the category of why remake something that was okay the first time. Why not make something? Why not remake a movie that barked the first time it came out, instead of remaking these films that were okay? I'm hearing word that they want to try to once again to remake Willy Wonka. Actually want to do a prequel. I guess they want to do a prequel to Willy Wonka. What's the point? Willy Wonka is a you don't need a prequel to Willy Wonka. We don't need to know his backstory. Because if you know his backstory, that makes him less interesting. He has to be a mystery. All due respect to Johnny Depp, who did a nice job, based on what the Tim Burton film was a little closer, more based on the books by Roald Dahl. But you can't top Gene Wilder. There's no way. You just can't do it. So why even try? And there's so many films that just don't need to be remade, and they remake them anyway. Take an idea that was kind of good to begin with, had potential but didn't pan out, remake that instead. But the reason they don't do that is because there's no name recognition in those movies. There's no built-in audience for those movies. There's no nostalgia for those movies. So that's why they don't get remade. So, all right. A great white. Yeah, you're going to put a great white in a tank. That's a big tank. You're going to need a really big tank. This is kind of on the topic of a video that I'm working on. How about that? Talking about big tanks. Okay, I would make my backyard a combination of dog park and hammerhead shark petting zoo. Don't let the dogs get too close to the shark. So, but hammerhead sharks are amazing. They're cool creatures. So here we go. Now we got a sensible answer here. Bucky says 72-gallon Bowfront paludarium. That would be great. That would be so cool. I love the 72-gallon Bowfronts anyway. They're just the Aquaon makes one that's really nice. It's like the next step up from my son's 36-gallon one. And they're just beautiful tanks. And yeah, that would be fun. I would love to do paludarium. That would be fantastic. You know, for those people that don't know, it's like that's like partly in the water, partly out of the water, and so yeah, terrestrial plants. You've got aquatic plants. Maybe you've got fish. You maybe have some amphibians in there, some newts, or frogs or something like that. That would be so cool. That'd be very, very cool. So, okay, actually, I'd like an octopus. Very intelligent creatures. Yes, very, very super intelligent, as in you got to watch them constantly because they will escape your tank. That is no lie. You really have to have that tank, all the possible exits covered, all the little holes in the top of your tank, covered, because an octopus will escape. That is absolutely true. I've seen them do it, and you can. There are octopi that you can get, for a home aquarium if you've got a big enough tank. They don't all grow whopping huge, but they're fascinating creatures and very, very, very intelligent. So, but yeah, I'd love to do it. Love to have. I've never gotten into the saltwater side of things, mainly because of the cost and the maintenance involved. One day I will be talked into it, probably, when I become ridiculously wealthy, so that my wife says, "Yeah, go ahead, sure." But other than that, no, I don't do it because I don't have the time. I mean, I barely have the time to maintain my tanks, which is why I do planted tanks, because that helps with the filtration, and I can let it slide a little bit with the water changes here and there sometimes. So that's why I do the planted tanks and the freshwater. Also, I just like freshwater tanks. I appreciate everybody's saltwater tanks and their reef tanks and things like that. I love going to the public aquariums and seeing it, but I haven't had a big desire to have my own saltwater tank. But if I did, I'd probably have something simple. I would probably have like a goby and a pistol shrimp in a little saltwater tank, and just call it a day. just watch those two play around. So, Usually says, I wouldn't be surprised if an octopus picked a lock and left me a notarized letter of intent to file complaint. You joke. I've seen them unlock things. I really have. In documentaries, I've seen them unlock stuff and open jars and all kinds of things. It's amazing what they can do. But I could watch it. I could watch them for hours. They're just fascinating to watch. Used to watch them when I was a kid. Go out to Steinhardt Aquarium at the California Academy of Sciences in Golden Gate Park and watch them there. They had one, and over at the Aquarium of the Bay, when my daughter and son and I went to go see that. You can go find the Aquatasy on location video. And in fact, as soon as the lockdown is unlocked, I'll go back to making the Aquatasy on location videos, because there's a bunch of them I have planned for different places that to go to and show you. And one of them is the Steinhardt Aquarium at the California Academy of Sciences. But the Aquarium of the Bay, if you go back and look at that video, there's some really cool shots of an octopus in there that's changing its color and everything. It's really cool. Says here, I saw a video of an aquarium who had an octopus who escaped its tank, went to another tank and ate the fish, and then went back to its own tank. I saw that same video. No lie, I saw that same video. The octopus, they have incredible eyesight. They have really good eyesight. And it could see over to the other tank, and it saw something it wanted to eat swimming around in the other tank. And it crawled out of its own tank, crawled across, got into the tank with the fish that it wanted to eat, ate the fish, crawled back over and was like, oh, me? No, I didn't see anything. So it's true. It's true. I've seen them crawl across the shore, you know, in tide pools and things like that. It's wild watching these things. So who else has what projects do you have? Because summer's coming up. Hopefully, you know, the lockdown will be over. And do you have plans for the summer? Are you going to travel if you're able to travel? Do you have travel plans already? Are you going to stay home? Do you have projects you're going to work on at home? Do you have projects for your tanks that you're going to work on? Are you going to add more tanks? Are you going to add more fish? Are you going to overhaul a tank, rescape something? What are you going to do? What are your plans? So you've heard my plans. I'm going to start by, you know, redoing my son's tank, setting it back up, moving Big Mac, cleaning up the 20-gallon tank, moving the fish out of here, putting them back into the 20-gallon tank, redoing the holding tank down here, Ellis Island, and so that I can have my quarantine tank back and I can add, you know, fish to that. Then redoing the overgrown tank here, the Thailand tank. And speaking of overgrown, that's one of the giveaways we're going to do today. I'm going to give away some of the massive amount of plants that I have here. I've got a whole ton of Christmas moss to give away. So what I want you to do is, not that email, this email. Send me an email at info@aquatasy.com and say in the title plant giveaway, and give me your information in there and say, hey, I'm entering the contest, and I will pull a name randomly from all the names, and we will give that away, and I will announce it in the community tab for who giving away. So I've got some Christmas moss to give away. I probably have some Riccia to give away. I've got water lettuce, so I will make up some nice packages. I've probably got enough that I can give out to, maybe probably up to 3 people, maybe 4 people. We'll see how much I've got here, because I've got to get rid of this. I mean, look at this. Look at here. Let me get back. Look at that. Look how overgrown that is. That's just one end of the tank. I probably can give away some needle leaf Java fern too. I've got tons of that growing in there. So. Yeah, there are no fish in this tank right now. No fish. It is just plants, constantly growing, filled in there. So send an email to info@aquatasy.com, and you'll be in the running for it. Okay. And let's see. Let's pick a date for the ending of the contest here, because that's always a good idea for people who are watching on playback. Look at my calendar. So let's say we'll keep this contest going until June 22nd. June 22nd is the cutoff for this, which also happens to be my birthday. So June 22nd is the deadline. Send your email to info@aquatasy.com and just say, plant giveaway, and I will give away some plants picked at random to some of the people. And we're going to be giving away other things too, because this is for people who live in the continental United States. Okay, the plant giveaway. For anybody who's outside the United States, we got something else we'll give away. Okay, so I can't ship the plants overseas to you. I'm sorry. So, but for anybody who is here in the continental United States, I will give away some plants. So send an email. So sorry to disappoint those of you down in Australia. Sorry. But I'll send something else down to you. So anyway, what do we have here in the chat? Okay, some plans here. So Chad says, I plan to get a 75. Yes. Consolidate a 40 breeder and a 20 into that, so you can take the stuff from those two and put it into the 75. Got that. Then move the 20-gallon shell dweller tank into the 40. Oh, okay, that's cool. So you've got shell dwellers in your 20, and you want to move them to the 40. That's probably good. That's better size tank for it. That's something I would like to try sometime. Is some shellies. I'd love to get some shell dwellers. Just fun fish to watch. Everything. So, all right. What else? Okay. Somebody else says, awesome. will be working on making the change from plastic plants to real plants. Excellent. Well, enter the contest. You might get some real plants sent to you. Here. All right. Heat Shield says, I have no projects that involve sea creatures. I've been subscribed since I met you on Creaky Blinders channel. Yeah, love Creaky Blinders channel. Creaky, love you. Let's see. Such a down-to-earth guy. Happy to have been here tonight. I'm happy to have you too. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's got to be late there where you are. My gosh, because it's what 6:30 here in California. So add 8 hours. Yeah, you should get to bed. So, happy to have you though. Scotland will take a lightsaber. Okay. I don't know if I'm giving away a lightsaber. Actually, here's the funny thing. I don't even own a lightsaber. People ask me all the time, okay, well, you played Vader for 12 years and all that stuff. You must have all kinds of things. I don't. I don't have any props or costumes. I don't own the costume. It went back to Skywalker Ranch every time I was finished wearing it. I don't even have a glove. That's all right. I have photos, I have memories, and I have paychecks. So I'm okay. But actually, okay, technically I do have a lightsaber, but it's a toy lightsaber. It's still in the box. And it's still in the box because the box has a photo of me as Vader on it. So I kept it for that. But I don't actually, have like one of the nice big fancy ones that you can buy. Certainly haven't gotten one of the ones that you can get at Disneyland or Walt Disney World at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Those are nice. Those are sweet. Those are expensive. But let's see here. So, any other plans for anybody? Who else has plans for the summer? Are you going to travel? Are you going to do anything fun? I'm actually going to be doing a bunch of conventions this summer, so looking forward to that. And it's fun to me because it's like for many years, I was the young teen that stood on the other side of the table, in line waiting to meet somebody that was from some movie or TV show. I did that for many years before I was ever invited to sit down on this side of the table with a stack of photos and a handful of Sharpies, and I never forget that. And so I as a big fan of all the things that I end up working on anyway, like Star Wars and Galaxy Quest and other movies and things, I love being able to give back. I love being able to share and all that. And it's not about people meeting me. It's about people, getting closer to that franchise that they love so much, and me being able to share, some insight to, for them into that. And that's what's cool. That's really great. So Jeffrey Brown says, my Tiger Lotus bulb put out its first leaf today. Yes, that's great. It's my first lotus in my first planted tank. That's great. Tiger Lotus is a wonderful plant. It's a really nice plant. Not too difficult to grow. And the nice thing is it will reach its leaves up to the top to get the light that it needs. So you can kind of place the bulb in sort of a shady area of the tank, and I don't mean shady like, don't go to that part of town, but I mean, shaded area of the tank. I gotta choose my words carefully. So, but you can put it in sort of a shaded area, and then its leaves will grow up and get the light that it needs. So that's nice. So good. I'm glad, Jeffrey. That's great that it's growing for you there. So Heat Shield says my summer plans involve travel to Launch Complex 39A to see a SpaceX Falcon 9 launch. How cool is that? Wow. I've never seen anything launch in person like that. That's so cool. Since you asked. Yes, I did ask. So now I want to see photos. I want to see video. You're going to post that to YouTube channel or something? I want to see this. That's cool. Shoot, I want to go. So Freaker Be the Speaker says, an interesting name. Okay. Says, I did not know about your dark side. My kids are all impressed. Okay. Well, then here we go. There you go. My dark side. Yes, that's me and the Emperor. I mean, that's me and George. Yeah, I spent 12 years playing Darth Vader for Lucasfilm, on film, for television, for commercials, print ads, magazine covers, toy packaging, you name it. So, yeah, he's a very nice guy. Wonderful gentleman. Learned a lot working with George. Working for him, I should say. Yeah, so, yeah, just Google me. You'll find out all about my dark side there. And, so not only did I work in front of the camera, I also worked behind the scenes as a visual effects artist at LucasArts first, helping design and create games there, and then moved over to Industrial Light and Magic and worked on movies like these. So, let's see. Other comments here. Exceptional says, I'm staying home this summer and saving for a vacation to Galaxy's Edge next year. Once in a lifetime trip for me since it's so far away. So I plan on buying a ton of merch. Okay. So are you going to Galaxy's Edge at Walt Disney World in Florida or Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland in California? That's what I want to know. I actually have a friend that works at Galaxy's Edge in California, Margot Apostolos, who is actually one of the original Ewoks from Return of the Jedi. She's a dear friend of mine. She works in one of the stores there in Galaxy's Edge. So, but I have not been to Galaxy's Edge yet. I have not been to, actually haven't been to Disneyland. I've never been to Walt Disney World, and I haven't been to Disneyland since 2004. So, yeah, long overdue. Long overdue. Never even set foot in Disney California Adventure, and I'm a huge Disney theme park fan. I have been to Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea, which is breathtaking, amazing. Tokyo Disney Sea is astounding. Those parks are wonderful. That was 2006, though, so it's been a long time since I've been to a Disney theme park. So, okay, so you're going to go to the one in Florida. That's great. They are virtually identical as far as Galaxy's Edge is concerned. Little bit different as far as the entrances and exits at Disneyland Park in California, because just how the layout was at the park and the land and everything. But as far as the experience, it's going to be very similar there. So that's great. Yeah, definitely worth saving up for and going to. Now, the ironic thing is I've actually worked on Disney attractions at the theme parks, but I've never been to see them in person. So I haven't even seen half the movies I've worked on or played half the games I've worked on, because you work on something, you finish it, you move on to the next project, or sometimes or sometimes I've missed the screening for it or whatever, or sometimes you worked so hard on something you don't even want to think about it afterwards. So not that it's a bad movie or a bad project, you're done. So okay. So cat's still asleep. So I'll bring her over. I promise I'll bring her over before this live stream is over here. So what else can we talk about here? Tired of talking about myself. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about whatever. What questions do you have? What any burning questions about fish or aquatic plants or aquascaping or making videos or visual effects or animation or Star Wars or whatever? Dump the questions right here. While you're thinking about those questions, I'll tell you what we'll do. For those of you who are not in the United States and you want a giveaway there, I tell you what, I will, cheesy as this sounds, I will sign a Darth Vader photo for you, okay? Just for fun. A photo of me as Darth Vader, and send that to you. So if you want to get in the running for that, then go ahead and send a email to info@aquatasy.com and put in the header, photo giveaway. All right. Now again, if you live in the United States and you don't want the plants and you'd rather have the photo, you can send it in and say photo giveaway. That's fine. Either way, okay. But you do that, and I will send out. I'll do about 3 of those as well. Okay. So it doesn't matter where you are in the United States, outside of the United States. You can go in the running for that. Or if you want it for somebody else, and you want it signed for somebody else, that's fine. And I'll send a fun, cheesy photo of me. I only say cheesy because it's like I'm just kind of embarrassed that it's me. But if you find it interesting, you want a signed photo of one of the Vader actors, I'll go ahead and sign one for you there. Just send an email for that. we'll do that giveaway. And there you go. So it says, oh, count me in for that, says somebody. All right, and I might be looking for a photo as well. Good. And some plants. Okay. All right. So who knows? Maybe I'll be generous and send out both. I am kind of like that. So, oh, one other project that I'm still going to work on, and this is going to be coming up pretty soon, because I'm tired of looking at this empty thing. Here is, let me put this on full screen. This is my this is going to be my shrimp face. I've had this. It's a little dusty. It's just been sitting here on my desk. Yeah. But this was my father-in-law's. He had this before, you know, he passed. He used to have this in his man cave. And big, I think it's supposed to be like a big giant brandy snifter or something like that. And I always thought this would make a great little shrimp face. So I'm going to put that together. It sits here on the corner of my desk. I've got this nice piece of spider wood and these interesting rocks that I got from my local fish store, Albany Aquarium. Always going to give them a shout out because they're wonderful people there. That is a project that's coming up this summer for me. Going to set that up, put in some ADA sand, put in some aqua soil, and some of the. I'm going to put some of the where did I put it? The aquaflora. Save a little bit of that from my son's tank, and put it in here as well, and grow some fish. And I'm not going to theme that around anything. It's just going to be shrimp and maybe some little tiny like chili rasboras or some endlers, some male endlers, because I don't want a whole bunch of endlers in there, or you know, maybe some little barbs or something like that. And not going to put a filter on it. It's not going to be filtered. I will have a heater. I've got the heater for it right here. Little tiny marina heater that gets good reviews. So and I've got a special light. In fact, I'm going to be doing an unboxing video of this special light that I got because the problem with something like this, go back to full screen, there we go. Problem with something like this is, you know, you'll see the lights that you can clip on to a small tank or something like that. They don't work well on curved surfaces, but I found one that does, and supposedly does very nicely. And so the company actually, and I just knocked it over, I think, or I knocked something over. The company sent one to me to review, so I'm going to check that out, and hopefully that'll work on here. It'll be a nice little LED light that conforms to the edge of that container. So that's going to be one of my summer projects. That will be a video for you to watch. So let's see, what else do we have here? Exceptional says, when you say shrimp, is that the same as sea monkeys? No, that would be brine shrimp. But those are shrimp. Sea monkeys, if you don't know about it, you know, like the 1950s and 60s and 70s. I think they probably still sell them. They used to sell what they called sea monkeys. And they have this family of these little creatures on the cover of the thing, and it's like the mom and the dad and the two little kid sea monkeys, and it was like a combination of seahorse and monkey and weird little things, and kind of, you know, and but you get them open and it's actually just they're brine shrimp eggs, and you grow brine shrimp. But no, these are not brine shrimp. These are actually I'm going to get some Neocaridina shrimp. So probably some like red cherry shrimp, but I don't want red. I want a different color because I want something that's not quite so common. Yeah, because red cherry shrimp are everywhere. You can get them everywhere. My daughter used to have some blue dream shrimp. Unfortunately, her colony died off. But I was thinking of maybe getting some orange ones or some of that, or I might even just get wild type, some that are just like little brown ones. That would be kind of cool. I don't know, something interesting. But I'm going to put some nice little plants, some things that'll stay small, maybe some Anubias nana petite. Maybe I'll get some Bus philandra and put it in there. A little Bus in there would be kind of cool in this little shrimp face, and maybe a little moss. I don't know. I don't want anything that's going to grow crazy in there. Little hair grass probably, but something that'll stay small and I can contain, and will help filter the water. But I'll just do regular water changes on it, and it'll be right there on my desk, and it'll be fun. would be fun to have there. So I've been looking at this empty thing for the longest time, sitting on my desk. So, all right. Exceptional says, I legit did not know that. Yeah, it's, yeah, brine shrimp. Sea monkeys are brine shrimp. That's what they are. So, I've been asked here, do you have other shrimp anywhere? Yes, somewhere in this tank, somewhere in there is a mono shrimp, a very small, very young mono shrimp. Assuming that the Cory cat and the neon tetras haven't eaten it, I don't think they have. I don't think they could. But there's a mono shrimp in there. Every once in a while, like once a month maybe, I see it sort of tootling around the tank there, just kind of swimming around. But haven't seen it for a while, so I don't know if it's still in there. But it's certainly enough algae for it to eat, and plenty of other things for it to munch on. So, but that's the only other shrimp that I have in there. So I don't have any other shrimp. So I find freshwater shrimp fascinating, and so I've wanted to have some. And my daughter doesn't have any anymore, and so I thought, oh yeah, I'll just make a little shrimp face, have it right here on the desk, and that would be a lot of fun to have. So asked, are they an invasive species that are considered for keeping in home? Does anyone cultivate barnacles, etc.? Okay. No, they're not. I don't think they're. I never hear about freshwater fish becoming invasive. You don't ever hear about cherry shrimp being released in the wild and surviving. I don't think they would. I don't really think they would survive. And I don't think the same thing of a mono shrimp too. I don't think they would really make it out in the wild easily. Not like some fish. I mean, you look at places like Florida and Hawaii where you've got fish that are definitely not native to those areas. That like look at all the plecos and things like that down in Florida that are not native there, that are very much invasive fish. We've got an issue in California with a lot of saltwater species that have been dumped from people who no longer could keep them, people who had them in their tanks, dumping them along the shoreline or in the bay or something, all up and down California, and they start breeding and disrupt the ecosystem there. So please don't dump your fish somewhere, freshwater or saltwater. Don't dump them. See if you can give them away to somebody, but don't just dump them and release them like that. So, but no, I've never heard about any freshwater shrimp becoming invasive. But I actually should look that up and see. That would be interesting to find out. But no, they. I do find. Occasionally you hear about people getting freshwater shrimp in their tanks the same way that people get snails in their tank, because they'll get something from somebody and they, plants or something like that, and they don't even realize that there's been a hitchhiker. I did a video a while back called "It's an Invasion." It was one of the Aquatasy quick take videos, and I had put some plants into the Thailand tank back here when I was first setting that up. Had got them from somebody else here that was giving them away in the Bay Area, and didn't realize it, but there was a cherry shrimp that hitched a ride, and didn't survive. It eventually, it passed away, whatever. But that happens. So you get them sometimes. So, all right, we're coming down the home stretch here. Any other questions? Any other comments? Any other plans for the summer? Anything like that? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Tank in my room. That's great. Yeah. But, trying to think of what other plans I have for summer. I'm gonna do some work around the house here, definitely. Certainly have to finish up the Heroes of Extinction production this summer. And I'm going to do some, you'd think I would have gotten everything done during the lockdown, as far as home maintenance and repairs and refurbishments and things like that. But no, there's still things to do. There's some areas I can paint and things like that. So I'm sure I'll be doing some of that this summer as well. But once again, if you want to enter the contest, if you want, be considered for the plant giveaway, or if you want to be considered for the signed photo giveaway, send an email to info@aquatasy.com. Info@aquatasy.com right there. And if you want to see the things that I'm doing, besides, sometimes before I even post the videos of them, you can go to the Aquatasy. Am I pointing in the right place? I can't tell. go to the Aquatasy Instagram and sign up there and follow me on Instagram and post a lot of interesting photos there. A lot of this slice of life type stuff. In fact, those of you who follow Aquatasy on Instagram have seen the cat many times. The mystery cat over there, Little Miss Murder Mittens. But that's not her actual name, but that's her nickname because that's what she does. She's a real good mouser, and she will quite often, get a mouse and bring it in and say, "See what a good girl I am?" And it's like, yeah, okay, thank you, don't eat that in here. Or you can go to the Aquatasy Facebook page, where I'll often post interesting articles about fish-related things. And, once in a blue moon, I post something on Twitter for Aquatasy there. So you can check that out. Or if you want to see what I'm doing when I'm not doing fishy things, you can go to follow me on Instagram as C. Andrew Nelson and find out what I'm doing in more of a career aspect of things, all the film type stuff. You can also find me as C. Andrew Nelson on Facebook. It's actually candrew.nelson. That's the way that Facebook formats it. Or you can, once in a lesser blue moon, I'll post something on Twitter for C_Andrew_Nelson, because some guy in Australia has it without the underscores. He's not using it, and he won't give it up. Or most importantly, you can go to candrewnelson.com, my website, my official website, and you can find out all the things that I'm working on. You can find out where I'm going to be appearing, where I'm going to be lecturing, or things like that, and all sorts of fun, interesting, or or boring things there. So, but definitely, if you want to enter the contest, you got to do it before or by the end of June 22nd. Send an email to info@aquatasy.com. All right, and then you too can win. Who knows? Yay! So, anyway, what do I have here? Someone says, thank you for the videos. You're welcome. I'm going to make more of them. I promise it. I'm actually was working earlier today and earlier this week on the latest Aquatasy Countdown video, and I've got many others planned for you as well. So, Heatshield says, do you know about laws regarding keeping fish that are considered fighting fish? I don't suggest anyone put animals in that position. Just wondering. I don't think. I can't speak about other countries. I do know for the United States, it is not illegal to keep, most of those fish that are referred to as fighting fish. Certainly not bettas, which are considered Siamese fighting fish. As far as holding tournaments and betting on them, that may be a different matter altogether. But as far as keeping them, I don't think that's a problem. There's actually a lot of myths around bettas and Siamese fighting fish. And I'm working on a video about that as well. So that's coming up. So that's going to be that's actually one I've been wanting to make for a long time, because there's so many there's so much wrong information about keeping that fish that you just it's been perpetuated for years, for decades. That is just not true, and people wonder, well, why did my fish die? Why did it not last very long? And because we're doing it wrong, because we don't know any better, because the stores and everything else keep spreading the same. I'll flat out say it, lies. Because a lot of times they don't know that there's a lot of ignorance regarding the care of those fish. But okay, says Chad says, good to see you, Andrew and folks. It's been fun. Catch you all in the next one. Great that I'm so glad you could drop by, Chad. So glad. Always happy to have you here. And Exceptional says, I already sent my entry in. Wow. Eager much. Yes, I know. That's great. Oh, wonderful. The first transport is away. Yay. So yeah, so please enter the contest, and you know, I love being able to share this stuff. It's like I'm so blessed and so fortunate to be able to do what I do, to be able to even have this channel, to have all these tanks, to to get these plants. Many of these plants were given to me originally, and now I'm paying it forward and passing them on and that sort of thing. And I've certainly been so blessed to be able to do the things that I do in my career. And if I can, brighten somebody else's day by, signing a little photo, then wow, I'd be glad to do that. So, enter the contest, get it in by June 22nd, because I have to put some kind of cutoff on this. But that gives people time to actually watch the replay of this as well. So, let's see, what else here? Somebody says, oh, nice. Glad you're working on that video topic. My old roommate had some beta that knocked each other out of the tank and ate each other's tails. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. You really can't combine males together. One of the myths is that people don't realize that you can combine male bettas with lots of other fish. They actually do fine in a community tank, so long as there isn't another fish that looks very much like them. So you don't want to combine them with other bettas or very similar fish like certain gouramis, that sort of thing. But they do fine with other fish. I've kept bettas in community tanks for years and years and years. Also, you can keep as many female bettas as you want together. A lot of people do a sorority tank of female bettas, and that's fine. They don't fight. It's the males that do the fighting. And even in some cases, I mean, because Ruben was in here earlier on the chat. I don't know if he's still here. Ruben, you still here? Ruben kept a male and a female in a community tank together, and they were fine. They just sort of, were a happy little couple. Because sometimes you hear about the male beating up on the female, and wanting her to breed all the time, and his weren't doing that at all. They were just perfect, perfect model citizens of that tank. So. But there's a lot of just misinformation about that species of fish. Even the name is has a perpetuated myth. So I'm definitely working on that topic. And if you have an idea for a topic, something that you want Aquatasy to cover, definitely, send an email to Aquatasy, info@aquatasy.com, or leave a message on Facebook, or shout it out on Instagram, or even leave it in the comments here of this video after the video's over here. Just if it's something you want to see covered, definitely, I will love to make a video. Aquatasy is not my channel. Aquatasy is your channel. I'm the guy that makes the videos, but you're the ones that make the channel. You make this channel possible. So it doesn't do me any good if I'm just making videos that entertain me. I want to make videos that serve you. And so I'm always open to hearing topic discussions that things that you want to see covered in videos. So, Floyd's here. Any new videos from your wife's channel coming out? Yes, because I darn well better. Because my wife's channel is Cornbread Wisdom. You can check that out here on YouTube. She does a lot of little lifestyle videos and life hacks and fun things like that. And you can check that out. Yes, we will be doing. That's one thing definitely doing this summer is we're producing much more content for her channel. Thank you for asking. She's going to thank you for asking. Or did she put you up to that? Did she ask you to do this? Oh, thank you. We got £2 super chat. Thank you so much for that. I really, really do appreciate it. Great stream. Can't wait to win that lightsaber. Okay, I gotta find some way to send you a lightsaber. Gosh. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. This has been a blast, and I really enjoyed this, and I hope you all enjoyed it too. Please, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of this month and this summer, and check back in because we've got more Aquatasy videos coming up very, very soon. Keep looking at the community page there because I always post stuff there whenever I can, and check it out on social media as well. And it's been a blast. It's been my privilege to be here doing this live stream with you. Oh wait, and before I go, I almost forgot. almost forgot here. I promised a cat. Hold on. She's not going to like this. I'm going to pick her up and move her over here. Here we go. Come on, Kit Kat. Come on. Here we go. Here comes the kitty. Here comes the kitty cat. Here she is. Okay. Okay. No, wake up. Wake up. Look at the camera. No, look at the camera. She's a sleepy kitty. The only reason she's letting me hold her at all like this is because she's sleepy. So there she is. It'd be funny if I'm just completely knifed up on live stream here. Okay, okay, all right. She's gone. she's not having it. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, blessings to you. Cat, what are you doing? What are you doing, Cat? I don't know. I don't trust her. She's doing something she shouldn't do. Cat. Blessings to you.